Will Frank Castle survive his rematch against Ares, the God of War, or is his fate already written in blood? Let's hop into the pages of Punisher issue number 9 and find out together, shall we? So that as we join the book, we actually see Daredevil Matt Murdock having a conversation with a shadowy figure who is later revealed to be Wolverine. Matt wonders what the superhero community is going to do about the growing threat of the Punisher, once the world's greatest killer, now in charge of the greatest cult of killers the world has ever seen. Obviously, this event happens before what's going on in the main Daredevil book right now because Matt doesn't have a new costume or a beard or being on the Avengers' own shit list. Now, from there we actually check back on in with Frank. When the last issue ended, he had melted down the Beast dagger and turned it into magical demon bullets to use against the followers of Ares. It's a truly chaotic battle with both sides giving it absolutely everything they got. Frank lost in their last meetup, and because of that, everything is kinda riding on this rematch. But believe it or not, the big fight between Ares and the Punisher is actually secondary to what's going on in the background, mainly more stuff with Maria Castle. We're treated to a bunch of her internal monologue this issue, which actually I think only 9 issues in makes her the very first character of whom we get to hear what they're actually thinking for once. She talks about sometimes how in her most secretive of moments she would actually sneak away to the vet bars and listen to all the drunken former soldiers talk about their time in the service, waiting for them to eventually tell Frank Castle stories. Apparently they all talked about him and his war exploits in very hushed tones, like they were in awe, like they were in the presence of God on Earth. It got to the point where Maria actually started to worry a little bit. Geez, is War the other woman in her husband's life? A mistress that she should be jealous of? Or is it the other way around? Is Maria the other woman and War is Frank's one and only true first love? It's also here too, I think the narrative actually begins to eat its own tail a little bit. Of course, if you've been paying attention, you'll know all throughout this series, characters like Lady Deathstrike have been implying that the Archpriestess actively doctored Frank's own memories of his life in an attempt to make him more malleable to coming and leading the Hand. Doing things this way also basically gave Jason Aaron the ultimate storytelling out wherein he was free to more or less craft his own continuity for the Punisher and not have to step on the toes of anything that came before. Though here it gets kind of confusing because we see the Archpriestess and the Hand in a flashback that would seek to imply that not everything we've seen up until now is a complete fabrication. It seems that the Hand ninjas have been spying on the Castle family, and it would appear that Frank is actually making a real go at being a husband and father, at reacclimating himself to society away from war and being a soldier. So much to the point that some of the ninjas say, hey, maybe we should just kill his family in the park one day. That'll push him over the edge and make him the high slayer we need him to be. Thankfully, they do not go there, as the Archpriestess says that would be wrong and that all they need to do is be patient in the Beast to deliver their champion to them. Though, interestingly enough, this also implies that the Archpriestess is one hell of a hypocrite, what with the whole bringing Maria back in the first place as a zombie and doctoring Frank's memories to be everything she wants him to be. Maybe she doesn't actually believe in the Beast as much as she lets on, or maybe this is one of those situations where the Beast helps those who help themselves kind of thing. Now back at the battle, the Punisher actually ends up getting the upper hand on Ares, who once again actually continues to claim that he's fighting for the betterment of Frank, that the Punisher was the perfect instrument of war once upon a time. Pure, unmoored, and uncomplicated, and that all Ares wants to do is see the natural order return to. Though Ares ultimately won't live long enough to see that natural order return to at all, because the Punisher is actually able to kill the God of War, stripping his old skull logo from his body while he did so. But once again, Ares surprises us with his reaction. He's not mad at all to be killed by the Punisher, he's actually overjoyed. Why? Well, because we're playing by necromonger rules on this one. You are what you kill, and with the Punisher killing the God of War, he now is the new God of War. Even though he's also supposed to be the chosen champion of the Beast and the Hand, I guess Ares assumes that two gods can't play nice at the same time, and that it's probably only a matter of time before the Punisher ends up committing a little deicide on the Beast. Now, while the Archpriestess wants to go and meet Frank after the battle, she ends up getting stopped by the Hand ninjas, who are directed by, get this, Maria. In the last issue, we actually saw her start walking around the Hand compound, and it looks like she herself had a one-on-one audience with the Beast statue. And it would appear she's come away with one hell of a religious awakening. No longer does she fear her husband's warmongering ways. Now she only wants to help feed the Beast in him. But wait, this can't possibly be the real Maria anymore, right? This has to be the monster that that the Hand and the Archpriestess created, right? Well, we don't 100% get an answer on that, but as the comic comes to an end, we actually check on in with the Sanctum Sanctorum, where a bunch of Avengers have come together to try and solve the riddle of Frank Castle and what should be done about the Punisher who just became a god. Frank was always a thorn in the side of the superhero community, but now his thorn has grown so large and so sharp it might very well bleed the entire world. And so that was the Punisher issue number 9, everybody, and I can't believe this series is almost done. With only 3 issues left and then probably a big crossover event with what's happening in the Daredevil book at the moment. I really thought I knew what was going on in this story and where Jason Aaron was taking it, but this issue kinda upends a lot of my theories and now I'm kinda back to square one. That's not necessarily a bad feeling, I just feel like things got really complicated in the last couple pages. I'm sure everything will be answered by the time the story comes to an end because Jason Aaron is the sort of writer who doesn't leave stuff like that open-ended. It's just I really thought I knew what was going on with the Archpriestess and Maria, and now I don't think I do anymore. Also, despite building up the big second round between the Punisher and Ares, it really isn't the focal point of this issue. Which, I guess if you weren't going to make their follow-up fight as cool as the first one was, and the first one was really cool, you might as well not even try and might as well just go in a completely different direction. And that's kind of what they do here, with the real draw being the flashbacks and the big revelation with Maria. Again, I gave Aaron all the credit in the world for actually trying to deepen Maria as a character and make her more than just a corpse that ends up spurring Frank into action. Though I'll also freely admit I don't exactly know how to take this whole Lady Macbeth style turn with Maria. I hope in the end we're going to discover that this isn't the real her, that she's being manipulated by the Beast Chew or possessed or something. Because if that's not resolved or put back in the box, I think it's going to become really messy for the next writer after Aaron. Overall, though, I'd give this one a 7.5 out of 10. Pretty good, not my favorite issue in the series, but still a lot to enjoy and certainly a lot to talk about. Hey there everyone, Cape Joel again, and I want to thank you so much for watching to the end of the video. As always, if you liked what you see, be sure to like, subscribe, comment. It really helps drive engagement and helps me out too. Also, if you are a patron, which you can become for as little as $1 a month, you will get exclusive content that no one else can ever see, and you'll get to see the Comic Multiverse podcast before anyone else too. You can check out all this and more down in the description. And until next time everyone, this has been Cape Joel, and I'll see you all next time. Cheers.